Well, that's new.
It's like you didn't see that when you walked up. Everybody looking up, and all of a sudden, usually like, oh, what? It's like, come on, man.
All right, now you're nitpicking.
No, I'm not nitpicking, man. This is some bad direction in this film.
But that particular point right there, you're nitpicking.
I doubt it. I don't think so.
You doubt it?
I doubt it. I don't think so. And I'm gonna pass over to Marcus. I'm just going off on a rant.
You are going off on a rant.
No, I'm not actually. We got Peppermint with Jennifer
Garner.
Jennifer Garner trying to get back into action. And not only trying to get back into action, but trying to get a franchise going. And she went over and said, you know what? You directed Taken, right? And I said, yeah. You know what that movie needs? Some titties and a vagina. We need what you did for Liam Neeson. Can you do that for me? Can you make me such a badass? Can you make an action renaissance for me? Well, let's go ahead and see. This is director of Taken. And this is, I have nothing against basic action movies, especially revenge flicks.
Sure.
I like that. Sometimes the simpler, the better, which we have a simple premise here. I mean, we've seen it with a bunch of dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, family.
All our lives.
Yeah, families out having a good time. They're loving each other. They're like the perfect family. And then some asshole has to come by and shoot them. But the mistake that they made, they left one alive. And that person says, I'm going to train and take all y'all's asses out one day. But like I said, that's all been done with dudes. And people even saying, you know what? Can we mix this up a little bit? Kind of getting tired of it. It's been done with everybody. Well, now we are. Throw a woman in there and let's see if it works just as well. Let's watch the trailer for Peppermint and we'll be back with our review.
Outmanned and outgunned. How you really think this is gonna go?
So, just to get straight to it, this is about an hour and 40 minutes of Jennifer Garner killing Mexicans. Some people gonna be like, cool, enough with the Mexican jokes. No, it ain't no joke. I wish I was joking with you. This is an hour and if you want to just put some setup in there, maybe an hour and a half of Jennifer Garner killing Mexicans. Now, while this is from the director of Taken, this is more like a female Punisher with the side of Death Wish thrown in there.
Oh, well, it's all the classics.
Yeah.
There's a little Batman in there.
Yeah. If you want to take all that, take any revenge story that you got out there. But really, that whole training thing, being almost driven crazy with anguish and grief and a hunger for revenge, it really is, the Punisher going on right here.
Yeah.
She's even living in a van in the middle of
down by the river. Oh no,
no, not by the. No, it might as well be. She's living in a Skid Row in a dark van, protecting the people. And listen, to have that theme, like I said, that's an old theme. Everybody's seen it, but that got a good spin on it. I think to throw a female in there, I think is not only just a female, but a working mother who the last thing that she was doing was being a bank teller and helping her daughter sell cookies for the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
living very meek, having no training at all.
Yeah, they were making a modest living, a modest family. They were kind of a realistic family.
Yeah, to see that spin that they put on, I was like, okay, the story's not going to be anything new, but it would be interesting to see what they do when they throw a really pissed off female in there, which I was all for. I went in there saying like, I've never heard about this movie. It looks kind of, I'm not going to lie to you, it looks kind of lame, but it has Jennifer Garner in there. I'm really interested to see what she wants to do with it because, first of all, it's Jennifer Garner, man. Jennifer Garner, I thought she ain't going to take nothing that's not quality. This is going to be a surprise right here.
Really?
Well, okay, by Hollywood standards, she might do something bad by Hollywood standards, but she ain't gonna take anything that's bad outside of that because I've seen her do different things. This is why I was excited to see her because, I thought that she could bring some something to the character. Maybe the story's open. Something could be done with the character because she does have some range with things. I mean, she's done romantic comedies We all like 13 going on 30.
Sure.
And then you see the action that she's done. A lot of people are familiar with her doing Alias. And look, I know it's a terrible movie, but I don't blame her for trying to give it a shot to do Elektra. You know, she went out there. She tried to do the physicalities for it. She put herself into it. The movie was shitty. I'm sorry about that. But hey, you know what? She knew she had a talent for action, and she tried to make it happen. So I was excited to kind of see this. And I thought that maybe with her having that background of different films, from action to romantic comedies to dramas, I said she's
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club, yeah. I thought she'll bring some emotional complexity and substance to this role. And then the movie, like, oh, you want complexity? You're in the wrong place, brother. For that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you say the director of Taken, and you can tell from the trailer that it's just another revenge, like you said, Death Wish Punisher story. Emotional complexity was the last thing I thought was on the menu.
The only complex thing that is here is how does some dumb shit like this make it to the screen? I can tell you how, Jennifer Garner, but that's the other thing. Why would Jennifer Garner take this movie? I mean, this is a movie that this is a script that she would wipe her ass with, man. Is she footing the bill for Ben Affleck's rehab? Because I don't know why she would even want to be paid for something like this. Yes, I'm gonna say it. Some people say, well, work is beneath no one. I will say it. This right here is beneath her. This wouldn't even go to like video. You would find this kind of movie, this kind of generic ass action movie. And I'm sorry, generic is being polite. Shitty, terrible, horrible action movie. You would find this channel surfing, and then it would be on HBO on a slow night. I don't get it, man. I guess you feel differently, man.
I do because I don't see Jennifer Garner as that A-list actress that you're talking about.
Even as a C-list, I'm like, man, you got to name enough, and you ain't gonna go back to A-list if you do stuff like this.
Yeah, but because she hasn't really been full force in the game. I mean, she's spent a lot of time being a mom, and she's probably more famous for this divorce with Ben Affleck right now than anything. Yeah. And yeah, there is some of that. Hey, I got to take what's given to me, or what can I do? But action was her thing. For, all those years she was on Alias, and she was great at it.
I just wish she was in a better movie.
Sure, but everybody wishes they were in a better movie, or things like you're putting, like you say, you don't have anything against her, but you're putting all the blame on her. Like, why she signed up for this?
I'm not putting the blame on her at all. No,
okay,
I know.
That's how it sounded.
I wonder why she would take this, but I mean, you take movies and sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. But even with that script, I'd be like, okay, I don't want to act like I'm putting the blame on her, but I'm like, yeah, I think that script cannot be too different from what we see on the screen because there's hardly anything there in the first place. So I'm thinking like, yeah, this is awful, man. This really is something that at any other time when any of the actors would not go to a theater. It's that badly generic.
It's very direct to video. I'll certainly that, but at the same time, it's like I don't think this is good, but I wasn't offended by it.
Oh, I was. And I'll tell you why later. I was very offended by this.
Okay. It's no different than all those things you named that we've watched. I think about all the different Punisher adaptations that have come before this. And I remember watching The Exterminator on Showtime at night. I was like, yeah, it's one of those. It's not the kind of movie you usually see. Usually doesn't make it to the theater. But at the same time, you look at Taken 3. Mm-hmm. I mean...
Oh, well, Taken 3 had already been established. And that's another thing. This director has a name. Taken 3 had already been established because of Taken 1 and 2.
Right.
Which Taken 2 was a big step down, and Taken 3 was horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
and this is right up there with Taken 3. And I'll tell you why. Because, first of all, I felt nothing. If you want a revenge movie, this is why... I don't begrudge people for liking Kill Bill, but I say one of the personal things for me where I'm not crazy about Kill Bill is because I don't feel anything in the revenge story. Mm-hmm. But it's a well-directed, great-looking film with some great dialogue in there and some great scenes. I don't like anything about this. And starting out with the family, I feel nothing for this family. This family, and it won't sound harsh, but this is a family of losers. Like, no one likes these people at all. Like they all had the they all.
So you're siding with the rich people?
They all came in and had the shittiest day. It was just the way they just wrote them. And see what happened was it's like nobody likes mom, nobody likes the daughter because she has no friends, and dad is the worst out of all of them. This poor daughter, the way this family died, this poor daughter never had a chance because the father's just dumb. Like the dad has one friend, and that one friend is dumber than he is, and this guy's following him and follows him to a bad decision that leads to, well, them getting killed. And it's like, man, you know what? The dad had it coming.
What? Yeah.
But what he wanted to do to get money, I was like, no one would ever think of this. And no one would even give it a thought to follow the dumbass that wants to do it.
Right.
This movie ain't worried about writing stories. It ain't worried about telling a story. It wants to rush you into the action. Mm-hmm. Where we get to with the cartel in this movie, the dad is so dumb for how he does it because they don't really care about logistics and getting there. They just want us to get there. Right. They want to throw us in there as soon as possible. It doesn't feel natural. It's so badly set up that the characters are made to look dumb. So I don't feel any sympathy for them because I feel like the script was just rushing me to get to the action, and to get me to feel bad for them. Well, again, that's where we go to every revenge story that we've seen, except most of those revenge stories at least give me a moment to care for these people. I didn't really care for these people because it was just like this whole cliche of like, oh, we're people having a bad day, we're desperate. Oh, but we all love each other because we want the audience to feel something. No, you try to, you earn that shit. You don't manipulate me and drive me into that, and especially don't push me into it by trying to hear, okay, aren't these good people? Okay, let's get into the action. Come on. But I don't know them yet. No.
They do kind of bum rush you along.
The biggest problems in this movie are due to just rushing everything to get you into the action so quickly. And it results in very terrible writing.
Yeah, because her training, I was like, you're not going to stick with that though, right? Please tell me she went to Tibet at some point and was trained right next to Bruce Wayne in that monastery. Because what you're telling me, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, they don't. See, that's the problem with the film. None of this is believable. This whole thing with her being this badass in the movie, they don't even bother to give us a whole like a montage or anything. They just, we get glimpses of people saying this is what she did and showing some little footage on YouTube or something.
Some found footage.
Some found footage, yeah, some shit of her on YouTube. They go to YouTube to find out what she's been doing. They don't even give us the courtesy of a montage, man. We she's gone for 5 years. Oh, she's back and she's a badass. They don't give us anything to believe that this character can do what she is doing at all. And another thing, nothing is lazier to me than when characters escape danger with no explanation at all. Jennifer Garner in this movie, don't try to blow her up or shoot her, because if you do, she just teleports. There are moments there where she's in an explosion or a hail of bullets, and they don't even tell you how she got out of it. There's one place they tell you, okay, this is what she did, but it truly makes no sense. And if they didn't even, and it might have had they bothered to show you point A to point B, but they don't do that. She really teleports, and they had the nerve, Martin, to pull some Friday the 13th Michael Myers shit. Yeah. Like they come up like there's this thing where she should have died. She's in a situation where
it's like you see her get shot point blank.
You see her, and then people step up like,
where'd she go?
Where'd she go? They even look in the air like, what magic is this? She. That's why Taken 3 is so bad, because there are scenes where Liam Neeson's in a car wreck, falls down an elevator shaft, the shit blows up, and they cut to Liam Neeson walking away from the building. It's like, wait a minute, how did he get out of that shit? Now tell me you saw this with her.
No, I saw that. I certainly did, and it is one where she gets some injuries that are grave injuries, and she just limps through them. And the thing is, it's one of those like so much of what you're seeing that's bad in this movie, and I'm not disagreeing with you. It really made me throw a mirror up to all the movies that have come before this. I'm like, so many of the bad things this does, it's been in all those other things before. And we just kind of let it go, and now it's holding up a mirror.
See, I'm not complaining about this for being what other movies are. If it works, it works. I'm complaining because this is so much worse than those movies. I'd criticize Taken 3 for the same shit that this movie's doing.
Sure.
And this movie ain't getting off because it's a woman in
But
here
there's a
now.
bunch of things she does here where I'm like, and I was like, wait, didn't I see that in the Punisher series too?
Martin, that is a comic book, and by the way, the Punisher movies were bad. Punisher movies were awful, so I'm holding up to those too. Not all the characters are so bad in this movie, man. These are victims of a shallow script.
That sounds like a title of a novel.
Or an album,
Yeah, a rap album.
A rap album, yeah. None of these people in this movie are written. You're either really good or you have evil in you somewhere. From corrupt judges and politicians to the cold-blooded cartel people like you see here. Shit, even the rival soccer mom has a black ass soul. She's got some evil in her too, like ruining a birthday party for a child. I don't mind if these things, some of these characters, okay, we need to not all of them gonna be great characters in this kind of movie, but all of these things are just points of manipulation. They're not real characters. I fucking hate this movie, man. I'm not even done yet. Go ahead.
No, please continue. Because you feel some kind of way about it.
Well, the mom doing it, ruining a child's birthday over some bullshit cookies, man. That's evil. It didn't have to be that evil. But it's okay. She was kind of comedically bad. But the bad guys in this movie are the worst. They are the worst. I'm looking at one of the Juan Pablo Haraba right here as the
Hey, Carlos.
he does like Carlos. He really does.
Carlos with a big caterpillar on his nose.
Yeah.
On his lip.
Cross between Carlos and Super Mario. But the bad guys in this movie, they are laughably evil. I was looking at some of the things in this movie. They love, let me see here. In this film, let me see if I can find what I was looking for. I had it a little while ago. They love killing so much that they make it like a romantic dinner. Like right here, first of all, this is one thing right here. I'll get to that in a minute. This scene, if you've seen this, is an explosion with like a nice decoration there. But when they kill people, there's a scene when they kill somebody and they set up candlelights around like a romantic dinner or something. They love killing that much. If they're gonna blow you up, they make sure to pull you in a building and decorate the building before they blow it up. It's like they went over to Hobby Lobby and decorated the place before they got there.
They care.
Yeah, it is kind of sweet.
They like to give it a little panache.
It is like before you die, like, wow, you actually went out your Nah, man, it's just laughable how much they love killing. They go out of their way, but it's bad enough that the villains are also racial stereotypes, but they these guys, a lot of them are, when I say racial stereotypes, like you look at them, they all got those MS-13 facial tattoos, but they're also badly written henchmen. Like there's hardly any human there. All of them if you saw, all of them was smirking the whole time. Yeah. Right. And they all talking and they all talk thug talk. That Hispanic gang thug talk. Yeah, boss, we smoked it, boss. Oh, we're gonna be shot callers, boss. So good, boss. They frown and grimace through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. There's a couple times they smile, only when they do really evil shit. But most of the time, they are just the same kind of henchmen you see in every movie. Just there to get shot, there to be Jennifer Garner fodder. And the production in this movie is annoying too. You look at before you even get into the production, the cops are even bad. Don't think I'm just talking about like the bad guys. When I say everybody's bad in this movie, everybody's bad. The cops in this film, they're just as cliche as the bad guys. They talk like hard-boiled detectives. They're just written to be hard street cops, and it leads to some really bad drama. These actors, well, at least one. I haven't seen. I don't know who the other guy is. His name's John Gallagher Jr. I haven't seen him in everything, but John Ortiz is an actor that I really like.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, he's a character actor that I think is very good.
I always think of Roman whenever I see that guy.
We have a friend named Roman that looks just like this guy. think the same thing. But it leads to some really bad drama with them. If you listen to some of the dialogue right here, and I want you to notice something that they do in this clip.
They were acting like they were in two different movies.
They really were. They really were. And watch what happens in this clip right here that you probably don't notice at first, but I noticed it the first time I saw the movie.
Thanks for showing up.
Always been a firm believer in beauty sleep.
Yeah.
Well, that's new.
Now I want you to notice something right here, and I saw this first time when I saw the movie. Notice the double take. Like you got people looking up when he walks up. His partner's looking up, John Ortiz. Yeah. You got people over there with cameras looking up, taking pictures. Look at the double take this man take, like he didn't see those fucking bodies hanging up there. What?
Well, that's new.
It's like you didn't see that when you walked up. Everybody looking up, and all of a sudden you just like, oh, what? It's like, come on, man.
All right, now you're nitpicking.
No, I'm not nitpicking, man. This is some bad direction in this film.
But that particular point right there, you're nitpicking.
I doubt it. I don't think so.
You doubt it?
I doubt it. I don't think so. And I'm gonna pass over to Marcus. I'm just going off on a rant.
You are going off on a rant.
No, I'm not ranting. I think everything I said is valid about this film. The production in this is bad, or at least annoying. They do all these quick edits, and they're like these flash edits, and they do these flash edits as a way to do fast forward to something, flashbacks. They're trying to get by showing you flashy editing so that they can show the lack of storytelling that they have here. It's these flickering cuts that they do, and it's very annoying. It's not because I just hate this movie to hate on it. I actually went in and wanted to have fun with it, but I just don't think it's a well-made movie. And I think the biggest problem is how bad some of the direction are in some parts, and really how bad the script is. I mean, it's one thing to be a movie that does everything else that a movie does. We're not expecting anything new, but really, when you have your character, you don't explain certain things that need to be explained. Once your character starts teleporting, like I said, that is a terrible, terrible story and a terrible movie to me. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm just repeating myself, but it commits a lot of sins I've seen before. Doesn't mean it should get a free pass for it. It just kept me from being angry about it. Jennifer Garner she's substantial. She's good at action, and she looks like she can do what she's actually doing. She's convincing as somebody who can handle guns and handle action and actually beat up other men and do all the feats she's doing. Now, as far as the script goes, the way they explain it, that it almost would have been better had they not told you. Because when they do, and maybe that's why they keep holding back, because they know that the more we say, the more this is going to fall apart. And somebody said, like, man, you got to give them something. All right, what if we just say this a little bit? Oh, you killed it. Because there's no way that would work. You kind of have to, there's so much you got to do to just go with it.
They have such a hard time catching this woman. And for me, I did not buy that that she was that elusive, other than her disappearing acts. That one act right there, that's just kind of an insult to storytelling. But I mean, they know where she is. There are people painting murals of her on Skid Row. That takes time to paint that shit too. They paint murals of her. They blow up a building for her. And the biggest thing about this, they want to catch the cartel too, but they blow up a building in the middle of downtown LA. And they don't stop to say, fuck, maybe we should drop this chick and get the cartel. They blow up a building like, we got to get this chick. And it's, come on, man. Really?
Well, they already showed how the cartel has their fingers in everybody's.
Yeah and no. That didn't even make sense either. And I can't tell you how. They try to do something with them. I'm like, you better get away from me with this bullshit right here. This twist that you got. That makes it even worse.
It is funny how they don't just blow up the room she's in, but they blow up that entire building.
They blow up a building to catch this woman. And no one says, man, we better stop this cartel before they really start doing some damage. I mean,
and later she shows up without even a suntan. Her clothes didn't get singed.
I can't even tell y'all how she. I mean, I can't even tell you how ridiculous it is how she just escapes from that, because I would again be spoiling some things. But it's one thing to be bad, but it's one thing to be a lazy kind of bad. So people make bad movies and you feel like they put some effort into it, and that's. You feel like, okay, I owe you a little something because you honestly tried. When I see people make something, it really looks like nothing went into the story unless the editor took this and just chopped this all up. Then, which could be something. It could be something. But until then, there's nothing to make me believe that it got bad in the hands of an editor. There's a lot there to actually say that it was worse before then. And I'll tell you why I was insulted by this. You can probably already tell I'm leaning towards some old bullshit with this, and I was gonna go there. I was gonna give it that, but this gets a fuck you for being a Fox News fantasy. The action in this, there are some. I can't even say all the action is that great. Is that great because it's choppy and they don't explain things. But there's one really great action scene in here, and as I told you, this movie is an hour and a half of just killing Mexicans. And they had the big, great action scene they have, of course, is in a piñata store. This is, while they try to cast a couple of brown folks as good guys, and I'm not even saying that Mexicans cannot be bad guys or you can't ever show the cartel doing crooked things. This is such a revenge fantasy that I know that this is a film that knew exactly what its audience was. And who they wanted to get with this, and it's that Fox. And I think a lot of it is the Fox crowd, the people who really are feeding into these stereotypes. And this is for me, I feel like this is not even a good time to release a movie like this with this kind of heavy lean on scary brown baddies, because it is playing on that fantasy for a lot of people, and a lot of people will see that. And I think the movie's kind of irresponsible for that. Laying on every thick racial stereotype possible for these bad people. You were Trump out there talking about MS-13 and everything. I think this is playing on that. So yeah, this to me, there's hardly anything to recommend this movie for.
It's not a good movie, and yet I didn't hate it. That I found it entertaining at times. In that, wow, it's 1 a.m. and I'm just channel surfing and I've hit Showtime and I've fallen into this revenge flick that I just continue to watch because it entertained me on such a low level. It's a low rental.
All right. Well, all you Mexican folks out there, you heard them. No. I'm kidding.
All right, all you nuns, you heard him.
Oh, yeah. I gave that movie a rental, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the nuns would be on my side. It's you they don't like.
Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry. Hell yeah.
You know, the nuns over there like, what? Wait a minute. Man, girl, you talk shit about me too.